We're here at the Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River, Bureau of Land Management. This is a river canyon wonderland. We got 9 campgrounds, a couple day use areas, a dam, west side of the Prineville Reservoir State Park. Let's go check it out. We're here at Cobble Campground, Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River, Bureau of Land Management. Let's go check out the campsites. And you've got your fire pit and your picnic table, some beautiful juniper trees. Here's your shoreline access. I think that's the most important part. That is the Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. A little bit of a walk over the shoreline, but look how accessible this is. I mean, this is very flat and comfortable. A couple rocks here, tripping hazard, but nothing too crazy. And look at this, my friend. This is your shoreline access campsite number 1. Very beautiful. Here is campsite number 2, Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife sign. These are all first come, first serve. This one is a little bit of a hike in. Come over here, carry your gear, I don't know, 100 feet. Not too hard, but be aware of that. And you have almost kind of this trail here. Here's your site, picnic table, fire pit, good juniper canopy cover. Obviously there's your river access straight ahead to Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. This is a high desert wonderland zone. I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of 2. It's right on this kind of side trail down to the river, and little ways away from the river, or some are right on the river. So you gotta pull all your gear about 100 feet over here. So not a fan of 2, probably not the one I would do. Here is campsite number 3. And you got your roundabout parking. And I kind of like this little stair step down to your picnic table. Good shade, especially July, August, the heart of summer. Could be 90, 100s in the high desert. And look at this. This is premium. Look at that view of Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. I really like this a lot. I'm pretty impressed. Fire pit and a picnic table. And absolutely perfectly manicured, groomed junipers. It looks like a wonderland zone. And let's go check out your fishing access, because let's be real, if you're here, you're probably fishing. And pretty easy access right now into the shoreline of Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. Look at this. This is gorgeous. I'm gonna pan up, show you the Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River, and pan all the way down as it goes down this incredible canyon. This is a very high quality site. I gotta say, this campsite is awesome. Got a little bit of that Swiss Family Robinson treehouse feel. Look at this. Oh my gosh. This, my friend, absolutely epic. Here's your picnic table, here's your fire pit, here's the main road. There you've got your own little turnoff for your parking. And look at your premium access to Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. This is amazing. Obviously a fisherman's paradise. Only $8 per night as of March 2024. First come, first serve for these sites. 9 campgrounds up and down this Chimney Rock segment of Crooked River. And let's come on down here. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is truly epic. Pan back around and take a look at our campsite. Look how close you are. So this is site 4, picnic table, fire pit, good canopy with the junipers. There is your restroom and the garbage. Little infrastructure right next to you. But I think the real draw of this site is Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. I will also add, you've got what looks like a little built-out area for fishermen to stand. I always enjoy those. And you got a particularly gorgeous section of the river right here. If we want to step beside this brush, you can see it moseys on down the canyon. This area is absolutely beautiful. Let's pan back over and look at your site from the shoreline. The sun peeking through your picnic table, your fire pit. Site 4 is money. Look at that view. And look at this view. And let's come down here and take a look. Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. A river runs through it mentality. And look at that. That is beautiful. So this is our shoreline fishing zone for our campsites 5 and 6. And background here. So here's 5. You see the sun peeking through our junipers. But the problem is, so 6, I'd like to introduce you to 5. That is a bit of a problem. I will point out this massive ponderosa pine. Look at that. That's legit. That is an incredible ponderosa pine, one of the biggest and most epic I've seen in a long time. So the ponderosa pine is legend and legit at campsite 6 as the sun beams through. Okay, so here's 6. I will point out 5 is right here. So the lot lines are not great already, but you got your picnic table right underneath these trees. You got this fire pit. 7, 8, 9 are down there at the end of the line. Those are probably better, 7, 8 particularly. But 6 right here nestled up against this massive ponderosa pine. The shade is probably the best part. But again, you got 5 right here. So for me, that might be a deal breaker. Going down farther, you got the rest of them. Let's go down and take a closer look. Again, there's 7, 8, 9 over there. Here's your picnic table. Here's your massive ponderosa pine. I'm gonna stop here and take a look. I mean, that's pretty darn epic. Great shade and great shoreline access right into National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. So this shoreline access is world class. I mean, look at this. This is redonkulous. Come over here and you can look upstream. That's magical. And if I walk over here, you got really gorgeous zone. So I'd say this ponderosa pine is amazing, and your river shoreline access is world class, but privacy lot lines with 5 right next to you are a little bit of a deal breaker for me. But I mean, how can you complain? It's BLM, it's very low price, right up against the river. I think 7 and 8 down there are a little bit nicer, but 6 is legit. Don't sleep on 6. Look at that river access. Here is campsite number 7. Right up against the National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. Okay, your picnic table, your fire pit got some gorgeous juniper trees providing some great canopy. See, this is little cul-de-sacs. You got 8 and 9 right there. But this is very cool. I'm digging 7. Come down here, you got your little shoreline access. Get into National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. And look at this. Beautiful money shot of the incredible river, high desert wonderland. Oh, that is gorgeous. Look at that. Come around here, and there's our view looking upstream, National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. So this is site 7. Got your own little access to National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. Some pretty epic trees. You actually have a ponderosa pine right there, as well as some junipers, ancient junipers, providing you some really high quality shade. I'm digging your little shoreline access point. You're at a cul-de-sac, kind of the end of the line here. You got 8 and 9 right here. You see the picnic table on the left for 8 with the fire pit right up against, overlooking National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. You have 9, ooh, straight off. You can see the picnic table, fire pit over there. Look at 8 first. So there's our picnic table, there's our fire pit, here's our river. Again, looking back at 7 for privacy lot lines. I like it's right up against the juniper as far as the shade. Look at that, that is gorgeous. That, my friend, is epic, world class. Look at that. You've got your own shoreline access from 8. You come down here. It's a little muddy, but a little sure footing. It's not too sketch. And look at that, my friend. Look at the views from campsite 8. You're rewarded for being right on the edge of the campground, right up against National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. You got a money shot of this high desert canyon Wonderland basin with National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River raging and roaring through it, moseying right by your campsite. And we pan over here. There, my friend, is your picnic table, your fire pit, and a juniper to provide you a little shade in the hot summer sun. Site 8 is pretty darn epic. Here is Site 9, just for bearings. There's 8, National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. And walk over to 9. This is the very edge of the campsite, campground. This is the edge of glory. Pretty gorgeous zone. Bad news is you got to lug all your gear over here, but good news is once you have, you're really rewarded with a little privacy oasis here on the edge of the campground up against the river. So good trade-off in my humble opinion. You got your picnic table, fire pit, shade of juniper, pretty magical. And then probably put your tent straight ahead right here on this grassland. Kind of feels like the natural spot. And let's walk over here and take a look at your views. Look at that. That is gorgeous. You got the High Desert River Canyon Wonderland, and you got the banking National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River. This is pretty gorgeous, my friend. So if you're willing to put in a little extra effort to lug your gear out here to Site 9, I think you'll be rewarded by being on the very edge of the campground. Beautiful views of Lower Crooked River. I will point out, you see the highway right there above the river. It does meander right here above your site. So I do want you to be aware of that you will have cars going right above you, but you are beneath it, so that should insulate some of the noise, a muffling effect. And let's pan up and look upstream. Oh, this is beautiful, my friend. Here is campsite number 10. You got your parking, you got your picnic table, fire pit on the other side of it. Pretty cool juniper here. I will say you are right next to the road, and in fact the campground sign itself. So this is definitely not going to be one of the best ones at Cobble Rock. See if you even have shoreline access. It's a bit of a hike. Oh, you also have your neighbor right next to you right here. So that is horrible privacy lines. Oh yeah, the river is a hike, and I don't know how steep that is. So you do not have river access. Here is campsite 11. You got beautiful views of the canyon up there. Let's not get that lost. Beautiful blue sky. But beyond that, you're just kind of out in the middle of the high desert, which is beautiful. You got junipers. Of course, you got your picnic table, you got a fire pit. Probably downsides are you've got an uninterrupted line of sight to 10 right next to you. And right straight ahead is the road. The river is way down there, so you do not have direct access. So I would not pick 10 or 11. Here is campsite 12. You got a little indent here for your parking. There's your picnic table, your fire pit. You're sandwiched right between the campground road, both sides of you. So you're absolutely surrounded by road. You also have site 15 right next to you. 15's got a fire pit straight ahead, but no picnic table. So it will cause a little confusion because this is 12's picnic table clearly. But so the people next to you that are right across from you that are within playing catch distance have no picnic table. So I don't know, this area seems awful to me. I don't want to be fishbowled between two campground roads, not near the river. The whole point of being here is to be near Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River, and you are just camping in the dirt up here in the upper loop with no access to the river. Here is campsite number 13. It's kind of the upper loop way above Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. You see the road here, another picnic table over there. Not a fan of 13. I would not do 13. You got money shots of Chimney Rock right above you, right there, smack dab in the middle of the Canyon Wonderland zone. Now this is an overlook campsite. Here's site 14, with the sun beaming over us. And look at that. You got your picnic table, you got your fire pit. This is Cobble Rock Campground, BLM owned and operated along the Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. One of the cool things about this site, although it's not shoreline like let's say 3 or 4, which are probably higher quality sites, this one's claim to fame is you have this little trail here that gets you down to shoreline. The way the sun is beaming through that tree right now, it's giving us a pretty good glisten of Lower Crooked National Wild and Scenic River. So you meander down this trail all the way down to shoreline and enjoy this epic National Wild and Scenic River. So here is site 14. You can see it's got a little roundabout and picnic table, fire pit. I think what's special about this one is how it overlooks National Wild and Scenic Lower Crooked River, very premium. I will also point out, and I think this is epic personally, that you've got this nice trail down to shoreline. So that's pretty cool. Site 14, if you just kind of want to overlook a swath of absolutely spectacular high desert wonderland, then 14 might be the site for you. I would say you have to have sure footing to go down this river access point, especially if you're going to do it multiple times through your camping stay. Be careful if you're drinking to go down there. You could hurt yourself very easily. But I still think site 14, if managed responsibly, could be an outstanding site. As your fire pit, and imagine sitting here, and this, my friend, is your view. Very beautiful. Here's obviously a little indent for some parking. Okay, so this sign is for 15, this fire pit's for 15. You see across the way, that is 12. I think the fire pit and picnic table over there is for 12, not for 15. It doesn't look like 15 even has a picnic table. I think it just has a fire pit. So that sucks. You're in the upper loop. Straight down that way is your highway. So you're gonna get highway noise, no picnic table, and no access to the river. Other than that, it's a wonderful site. So I would not do site 15. I wouldn't do 12 either.